Morning, everybody. Sunday fun day is just about to get underway. Come on, okay. Stop playing hard to get. Get over here. All right. To get started today, we're going to come to the back part of our mats. We're going to bring our feet a little wider than hip width apart. We're going to take our toes. We're going to angle them out slightly today. I want you to bring some straightness to the legs. And as we begin to elongate our spinal column, we're going to start the process by drawing in the belly button, pulling it up and in, and crowding out the chest as we let the arms fall to the side. Now, as we do this, I'd like you to draw the shoulders upwards slightly, not all the way up, just up slightly, just to get a slight muscle activation in those muscles that lift the shoulder blades. Let's keep those in place, and let's take your thumbs and spiral them sideways and then all the way backwards, so your palms are outward facing. As you take a deep inhale, I'd like you to take the heels of the feet and push them into the earth, and then try to spiral them out from the center line of the body. Just keep that real as we take a big breath in. And now start to elongate the spine and pull an imaginary spring on the top of the head, nice and tall. So let's draw the chin forward and then draw it in, pull the head upwards. As you inhale, sweep the arms forward, rotate the palms to face the sky, draw the baby fingers together. As you inhale, I'd like you to try to squeeze the forearms together. And then as you exhale, I'd like you to extend out and sweep nice and long. Watch out for your partner, if there's none beside you, just like me. And now use your fingers to pull the arms long, pull them longer, and then use your thumbs to guide back the arms a little deeper, a little farther back if you can. Nice. Now, sweep forward. Bring it all together. As you serve out the platter, I'd like you to take your toes now and step your face forward, and then drop down into a squat and stand back up. And do that a couple more times. Angling through the knees, making sure you're not pushing inward or outward, or just moving straight forward and back. Lift the palms to face, bring hands over heart, stand tall. Now, a couple is more than two, I get it. Take the palms, push them together as you inhale. As you exhale, keep the palms pushing together as you push the arms forward. Now, keep that nice engagement, palms pushing together. Lower the hips. So we're squatting down, keeping that nice activation, palm to palm. Arms are highly extended. And stand tall. Relax the arms, shake it all out. Draw your shoulders up to the ears. A little higher if you can. And then let them just settle down. And do that a few more times. Slowly raise them and slowly lower them. Now, as they raise and lower, I want you to check in with the trajectory of the arms. Are they moving forward enough? And if they are, I'd like you to try to draw straight up into the ears, the lobes, and all the way down, nestling down, crowding out the chest. Keep the chest proud. Draw the shoulders up, and then lower down. And then find what feels natural for you. Let's take your hips, push them to the right and to the left. And do that a couple more times. And then we're going to advance this a little bit by pushing to the right, sweeping the hip backwards like you're drawing a circle, all the way over to the left side, coming all the way back center, and then initiating the same movement in the opposite direction. Drive it out, pull it back, circle it around, and center it up. Add in a couple more of these at your own pace. Nice and slow if you can. Just warming up our body. We're going to listen to it today. Each day you're presented a different set of variables of what it's capable of. So as we move around and we start to register what's working, what is it? All right, now let's just relax, shake it out. I'm going to bring some straightness to my legs, making sure my toes are aiming straight forward. I'm going to take the ball of each big toe and make sure I have a nice connection with the mat. I'm going to try to emphasize a little push down. Your baby toes might lift up a little bit. I want you to relax them back to the mat and keep the emphasis on that ball of each big toe as you draw your booty backwards keep the legs straight. So we're gonna have basically a chop point, which are the hips. So what happens often as we do this, we exhibit other body behaviors like flexion of the spine. I want you to be spine extended as best you can, and then stand back tall. Now, when we stand, I'd like you to try to externally rotate the heels as you push the hips forward. And as you draw the hips backwards, I want you to keep that external rotation. Chopping hips, holding a little bit. The depth of the movement is not important right now. It's more the activation on those hips. Those muscles should be active as best you can with that exterior activation of the heel, that exterior rotation activation. And as you stand this time, bring hands over hearts. Push the palms together, extend the arms out, draw the shoulders forward, and then draw the shoulders back. Keep the palms pushing together as you move forward with the shoulders and as you move back. Nice activation of pressure, palm pushing to palm, shoulders sliding forward and back. And then when you draw back this time, release, draw the elbows out, field goal time. A little bit of football going on, folks, if you want to call it that. Not Super Bowl weekend, that's next weekend. Just for fun or notification. Now, we have palms facing forward. I'd like you to take the forearms and rotate them downward. You notice this may require a little bit of effort to keep the elbows elevated and not shifting forward or back. So we're just going to raise, lower, with the elbows ascending or just pushing straight out from the side. And then see if you can increase the range of motion as you go down. As you go down, don't lower the elbows down. Try to keep them high and then all the way back and then super exceed. Go all the way back and then all the way down. So maximal range of motion. Do it a couple more times. And then when you've got your couple in, bring hands back over hearts, fold halfway forward. Hold on this. Now, take a big breath, elongate the spine, shore up that low back. I want you to engage your six-pack muscle, and let's activate the upper muscles of the back by crowding out the chest. Draw that head long and let the arms sweep up to the side. Open those thumbs up to the sky. And then lower down so that the fingers and forearms touch and raise up and then do this a few more times. So if we work on our shoulder mobility, if it's possible, try to keep the arms nice and long. Try to raise those thumbs as high to the sky as you can. Let's do a few more repetitions. So these are working our external or some of our external rotators of the shoulder, which, well, by the way, get kind of abused when we sit for long periods of time. So hold up, stand up with the arms all the way extended, keep them extended. Now, we're going to fold this down, but when we fold, I want you to avoid the shoulder shift forward. Try to hold them in place, fold halfway down, and stand tall, and do this a couple more times. So we're just keeping the shoulders stable. We're actually working the stabilizers and external rotators here. Should feel a little bit of effort trying to keep those arms elevated as you fold. Come back up, hold up, hands over hearts. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? All right, let's take a little bit of a wiggle of the hips. And when you're ready, take your right foot, step it forward, step your left foot back. So we're in a lunge type position. Now, setup is very similar to all we always do. You know, toes on the back, up heel sky, heel aiming sky. Emphasis today is making sure the ball of the big toe, ball of that big toe, is connected as you lean in and then rise up. So this again is a chopping of the right hip this time. So we're going into deeper hip flexion on the right side with no spinal flexion. So we're keeping spine long. Chop down, chop up, or sorry, release. So it's like a chop and release, kind of like fishing, catch and release, but this is, you know, rehabilitative yoga. So we chop and release. Now on the next downward descent. You're gonna hold on that, extend your arms outward, palms are facing. As we pull back the hands, I like to open the palms. And as you sweep the arms forward, the palms rotate to face, and you raise them up wherever that comfort level is, keeping that nice, long spine, palms rotating internally and exteriorly as we make the movement happen with the arms. And then we're going to hold up, spread the fingers wide, hold the arms long, let those shoulders shift forward, and draw the shoulders backwards now. Raise the arms a little higher if you can. Bring hands over heart. Switch up sides. Shake out that leg if you need to. We run it for a long period of time. Let's start with the flexion, chopping down and raising up. You may notice that the stability, from side to side changes. So I'd like you to try to find what's working. Keep that left leg, same as we did with the right, relatively straight. Make sure that the ball of that big toe is nice and grounded, but the little toe is not lifting. We've got a nice connection across the whole width of that foot, rising up, lowering down. And on this next repetition, guess what time it is? Time for the arms. Shoot them forward. Spread those fingers. Rotate the palms as you sweep back. Rotate them back in as you sweep up. Range of motion is going to be limited by what's available today, but I'd like you to try to do your best to maximize your range of motion today. Now I'm moving at a slight faster pace. You don't have to move at my speed at any time. It's all about control, managing the side to side, managing the stabilization for the foot. Just feel that low back kind of working hard. It really is. And then this one, sweep up, hands come over heart, back foot steps forward. And we are going to shake it out a little bit and enjoy. Now, we're going to be doing some squats here. So this is more for hip, knee, and ankle mobility. To start, we're going to give our body what it normally likes to do, which is exteriorly rotate. So I'm going to ask you to step your toes off the center line, in them outward. Kind of like what we do in a sumo squat. We're going to take a slightly wider stance. So the feet are wider than the hips. And then hands on hips, hands on heart, whatever you prefer. I'm going to do hips, and we're going to start to lower down into the squat. Now, the range here is going to be a little different when we first start. And as the muscles gain the experience of the movement and the stress that we're trying to impart to them and allow that adaptation to happen, I'd like you to try to increase the range of motion, getting down further, if you can do that, if that's accessible today. Now, on the next rep, we're going to hold up, and we're going to step our toes to face forward. Keep the distance the same from foot to foot, lower down. Now this is a slightly different innervation. Same muscles are working, but working a little differently because we've repositioned the feet. So again, same thing. Experience generating range of motion opportunity. Lower down as you feel you can. When you move now, because we have alignment, toes and knees, I want you to make sure you're not splaying or holding in with the knees, raising and lowering. All right, now stand tall, step your toes in towards the center line. We're not going to squat on this one because right now we're going to be pushing into the center line, but we're going to stand tall, draw the hips backwards, and extend the arms up. So this is part of our progression here. Now, as we reach forward, I'd like you to bring some straightness to the legs, and it's a partial squat. So I'd like you to come down and let the thighs come in and touch, and then come back up. And you'll notice now that within the foot, it's a lot easier getting the ball of each big toe grounded. Now, as we rise up this time, I'd like you to activate the chopsticks, like pull the legs together. Squeeze them, lower, thigh to thigh, rise up. This is going to trigger a lot of the movement through the smaller muscles, the adductors, ABD of the legs. Come tall. One more time down. One more time up. Relax the arms. Step the feet straight forward. Spread them out to the edges of the mat. And turn your toes into face. Wow. Lots of instruction. Are you loving it? All right. So legs straight. Butt back. Hands on thighs. Chest nice and proud. Spine growing long. Same with the neck. Big breath in, proud out the chest. Imagine I have a cannon about to fire a cannonball into your belly. Fire up those muscles. Make them nice and strong. Now, slide the hands down over the kneecaps. Spine remaining straight. All the way down to your ankles if you can get there. Keeping that nice extension to the spine. And then slide back up. Push the palms, slide them up. Push the palms all the way along the legs, sliding up, hold up. Now, the next rep, when we push the palms and slide down, I want you to do as best you can to avoid the inward rotation of the shoulders. All right, now nice and strong, crowding through the chest, sliding down, low as you can go. Hit new lows today. Always good to have a good sense of humor. Rise back up. It's not a heavy push, just enough to kind of make sure that we can actively work shoulder rotation, the backward rotation. Come back down and back up. And keep the spine extended as you lower back down. Hold down this time. Walk the hands out. Inhale, extend to a flat back if you gave in. Exhale, release the upper body down. And extend and flex the spine. Inhaling as you extend, flexing as you exhale. Take a couple of reps. Now hold the extension and let's check out what's going on in your feet. Now, are you heavily weighted to the front, heavily weighted to the heels, or equal to both? And if you said equal to both, that's what you should be shooting for. Equal to both. Float the hips forward and back. And when you find the equal to both, or what feels like equal to both, hold on that. And let's continue. Flex the spine. Inhale, extend. And do that a few more times. Using breath to guide. All right. Step those hands back onto your shins, or sorry, palms onto the shins. Just make sure your toes are aiming straight forward. You're going to bend the knees, lower that booty, and we're going to try to keep the spine extending. We're trying to load more into the posterior muscles of the legs. So I'd like you to try to drift back and give me more weight to the heels if it's possible without falling. Now push, proud. So push, proud. Push the palms, proud the chest, grow that spine. Keep that muscle activation through that torso of yours and sweep the hands forward. Palms turn to face. Stand tall. Nice. Now, here we go. Arms are reaching forward. We're going to retract the shoulders. We're going to lower back down and raise back up. A lot of mobility exercises for hips, knees, and ankles today. Relative to inward rotation, some of the biggest culprits, some of the biggest effects we feel in our low back are from mobility issues related to hips, knees, and ankles. This is why I spend a lot of time working on this. It's not the only cause, but it's a major contributor. Lowering down, hold down. While you're holding down, raise the arms high, sweep them down and back, and do that same thing. Spiral the palms backwards and open, and close them when we come forward. All right, sweep up, stand up, salute the sun, fill those lungs of yours with air. Exhale, hold down and have a seat. Oh, thought the fun would never end, but it did. Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna grab some water.
Cheers.
Cheers. Always the party person. All right,
Me.
that's you.
What are you doing?
I'm excited enough. So we're gonna come to the left side of our mat and find our left thigh running parallel to the edge of the mat. I'd like you to start with the foot slightly in. So you can imagine a 90-degree and coming halfway in. So it's just a little bend, 45-degree angle, if you will, in the shin of that front leg. And I'd like to take the right leg and step it backwards. Now, that's going to force you to lean to the left. That's fine. Now, leaning and flexing, that's what's available. Take it. But if it's possible, I'd like you to extend. It's going to create a different pull through that pelvic girdle of yours. Now, while we work to keep spine extending, I'd like you to take that right leg and try to open it backwards. So it's almost like the outside of that right foot. It's like a hinge. I'd like you to open back and sweep forward so it's vertical again. So vertical is the starting position, and further back is where we're targeting the movement. Keeping the spine long. Take the effort to do this a few more times, slowly, your rate of pace. Forcing versus accepting movement. If you can, try to accept deeper or greater range of motion, but don't force it and cause compensation in other areas of the body. So if you're starting to crinkle up and flex in, you're too much effort. Just try to get the right amount of effort. Let the body accept the change and movement and the opening as we move today, and every day for that matter. Now, hold up, take the shin and move it till we have 90 degrees now, and take that back leg and lower it down. Now, some of us have hip-related issues, so the modification for this is lying on your back and using either a surface like the wall or just having your feet suspended in the air. So basically you have a 90-degree hip, 90-degree knee. So I'm going to hold up now, and you can see that I've got my right inside foot anchored down, and now we're going to rotate internally the right leg. So I'm going to rotate it down towards the mat, and I'm going to rotate in with my spinal column, and then I'm going to open my shoulder and spinal column as I lift the knee. So this is internal rotation when the knee goes down. External rotation as the knee goes up. And it's working primarily our right hip and the small muscles that affect internal and external rotation. We're working hip mobility in a sentence, in a couple words. All right, hold up, lower back down, rotate in the upper body now to be more square to that front leg, and walk your hands forward. I'm going to move my cup out of my way. And now we're going to fold over that front leg. And that should facilitate a nice stretch. Come back up. Now, I know I didn't explain well how to do this on your backside, so we can do that later if we need to. Now, fold back down, walk it back down. Unfold it. Sitting tall, try to keep the spine in extension, lowering back down slowly. Now, assisting with arms if you need to, if you can provide more overload to these muscles by releasing the hands off the earth. Let's do a couple reps. I'm still going to assist myself because this is a movement where I'm not absolutely strong on yet. Thanks for sharing that. All right, as we come back up this time, we're going to set up the opposite side, scooting over to the right side this time. Remember, we're going to start with a 45 in the front as opposed to a 90-90. As we step that left leg back, we're going to start on the interior rotation. Again, it's kind of an interior rotation of the legs, sweeping down, hinging on the inside of that left foot, and opening back up. And you notice I've got two movements in play here. The upper body is rotating internally, as does the leg, kind of coordinating this movement. Make a few reps, slow is the way to go. Did you notice how that rhymed? I did. All right, and this rep up, hold up, square up that front leg. And now we're going to go for the backward portion, opening and closing. You can reposition the foot. You know, some of us have mobility issues, so having the legs wide apart may not be possible. As you can, Kirsten continues to do this. If I was just on the floor on my back, I would basically have my one leg posted in the air, and I would be internally and externally rotating through the hip.
That's nice to do that before.
And as we come to this final rep, we're going to hold that. Sorry, we're going to take the, we kind of messed up, didn't we?
Yeah.
We take that left foot down. So we have the iron, and now we have to do the exercise. I messed up, my apology. I was doing a different exercise on each side. So we're going to basically extend that left foot back 90 degrees in that front leg, open and close. Let's just do a couple reps because we're already working on this. And then we're going to square up, upper body to the front leg, and with assistance, come on down. The price is right. No one appreciates a bad sense of humor on Sunday, I guess. Oh. Kirsten giving me those jokes are corny look, so I'm thinking,
You need your own coffee.
yeah. So this might be also called the Rice Krispie exercise. Snap, crackle, and pop. Well, that one landed. Okay, remove the arms if you can, try a few more repetitions. Or try to reduce the dependency on the arms also. That's another intermediary type of strategy. And on this next raise, hold up, sweep around. And we are done with that wonderful exercise. Hope you're having as much fun as I am. I'm going to come scooch up towards the front part of the mat. I'm in the seated position. And much like in most of our seated positions, we have 90 degrees, normally ankles, knees, but not so in the hips. We have a higher degree of flexion right now. So I'd like you to try to extend backwards so you can get 90, 90, and 90, just like you were sitting. Proud up the chest. Now this is going to fire up those hip flexors. I'd like you to keep them fired up as you extend the arms out. So we're going to kind of work on some strengthening of these. Now this is isometric strengthening because the hip is immobile right now. So lower the baby fingers all the way down, arms extend all the way as the fingers spread widely. We're moving the arms extended all the way up and down and keeping the chest proud as we make the movement happen. Hold up, Pilates style from the low back, start to lower down. All the way down, extend those arms all the way back. Extend the legs all the way out. Fill those lungs with air and bring hands up over the chest. Body style, we arise, chin into the chest, keep the spine in flexion. Dive the hands, feel that nice stretching through the low back. And back up to seated. Let's step those feet back in. Now extend through the ankles. So we have feet angling down towards the earth. Spread out the legs a little bit. And we're going to do a stretch here also. So I'd like to bring the hands inside. Spinal flexion. Good now. We want to flex the spine and walk forward. Now as you inhale, extend the spine. Keep the spine extensions. You're upright. And now, with assistance, with hands on knees, or if you can, extend the arms out, Pilates style, lower back down. Try to keep the feet rotating towards the mat. And extend the arms all the way back and extend the legs all the way up. Fill up those lungs. As you exhale, let's return the arms beside the body. Let's cup the fingers and lower the fingertips down. Now, scooch around those shoulder blades. Try to get them flat to the earth. And try to activate a proud through the chest, pushing the chest of yours towards the sky. We're going to assist the upper body by straightening out the arms and taking your elbows and rotating them down towards the earth. So that rotation of the elbow down towards the earth is practicing external rotation in the shoulder. So let's keep that rotation with our chest proud and push the fingertips into the earth and have it all happening all at the same time. And let's not lose this. Let's keep that all active as you step each foot in about an inch or two, just slightly, and step them in towards the center line, but keep them about hip width apart. Let's flex the feet. You felt your shin muscles become very active. Keep them that way as you rotate the thighs and the toes in towards each other. Internal rotation, you guessed it. Now that upper body, checking back in with that. Have you let it go or are you still on top of that? Keep on top of it, right? Now, take your heels and as you begin to push them into the earth, I want you to try to lift your hips, your butt up off the mat. I want you to try as best you can without creating tension anywhere else. We have all the other muscle activation, a big package going on. Keep those feet flexed and keep those thighs squeezing. And lower back down. Great job. Extend the legs out, extend the arms all the way back. Enjoy it. Whew, a lot of shit going on all at once. Now sweep those arms back down. Cup the fingers. When the fingers arrive on the earth, I'd like you to take your elbows because your arms are nice and straight, right? Good. You're going to take your elbows and spiral those in towards the earth. You might feel muscle on the back of the shoulder area start to activate when those elbows spiral in. And I'd like you to keep that activation. Fingertips push, chest is proud. We're going to add one little dimensional thing here, and that's your belly. I'd like you to suck it in. Like just pull it up and pull it down towards your spine. Step the feet in, hip width apart. Big thing. Flex the feet. Spiral those thighs and toes in towards each other. Push from the heels and elevate the butt. Push a little higher. Pull a little longer. Keep the tension out of the neck. And lower down and relax. Great job. Extend the arms all the way back. Sweep the hands back up. And Pilates style. Bring it back up. Oh! And dive it all the way through. Let's come back into a staff-like pose. Enjoy the view. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to grab some more water. Good opportunity for you to do the same. Nice. Now, we're going to come back down onto our backside. And we're going to work a nice little stretch today. Oh, we're going to take your left foot and plant it on the floor close to your butt. I'm going to take that right foot, I'm going to bring it across. So this is like a figure 4 stretch. Now, without assistance, we're going to take our internal and rotation efforts for the hip by keeping the foot anchored on our thigh. So the right foot anchored on left thigh. And I want you to rotate the knee internally and then rotate the knee externally without a lot of movement for the hips. This is all about the hip socket. You're just activating muscle. Rotate in and out. Now, if your foot wants to play funny little games by extending and flexing, I'd like you to just keep the 90-degree angle in the ankle and let the knee rotate internally and externally. All right, so now that we have that, I'd like you to make sure that you've got a squareness through the hips. And I'd like you to take your hands and reach through and grab and pick your shoulder blades up off the earth. So you're almost like in a crunch-like position. I'd like you to hold the crunch and pull that left leg in towards your body. And try to bring your forehead up to meet your ankle. And then release it back down. And then switch up sides. Same setup, opposite side, anchored by flexing, external and internal rotation. Keep the hips calm. You can use your core muscles. In fact, it is your core that's going to keep the hips relatively stable. It's not a big exercise for the core. It's more for these smaller muscles, for the internal and external rotators through the hips. Range of motion drives the benefit here. So as you rotate externally, try to create the external rotation as best you can. And as you rotate internally, same thing. Without compensating. So we're not like floating around. We're just moving through the hips all the way out and all the way in. And then hold that. Now, hands come through, wrap. As we wrap the fingers and pull that right thigh in, elevate, pull, 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 forehead towards the foot, all the way in. And then lower back down and extend those legs all the way up. Extend those arms all the way back. Fingers and toes pull opposite direction. Fill up with air. Blow it out and bring those arms down beside you. Let's roll on to the right side. That's the side that's opposite the left side. All right, so we're going to put a 90-degree bend in the knee. And if you can imagine the line of your mat being the line of your shoulders, hips, and your right knee. So they're running parallel to each other with a 90-degree bend in the knee, the right knee. The left leg is straight. And it's going to aim straight down towards the bottom. You know, flex the foot. And I'd like you to try to push out with the heel and then rotate the toes of that left foot towards the earth. And then externally rotate. So we're going to open the toes to face the sky. So rotate internally and externally.
The left leg or the right?
The left leg is rotating internally and externally. All right, now hold the internal rotation. The toes are aiming towards the earth. Take the left leg, lift it up to the sky. Keep the toes angling downwards as you lower the leg to see if you can get that big toe to touch, and then lift the leg back up. Keep that left leg nice and straight. Straight up, straight down. Couple more reps. And then relax and turn over to the opposite side. Same setup. So the side of the mat being the angle of our upper body and lower body is running parallel to. We're going to put a 90-degree bend in that left leg as we extend the right leg all the way up. We're going to rotate the toes to face the earth and then rotate them to face up at the sky. That right leg is straight. On the next rep, right toes aim towards the earth, touch the toe to the earth, raise the heel to the sky. And as you lower on the next rep, roll back around, come all the way up to a seated position. Actually, I do. I want you to come all the way around, so you're not in the seated position. From the seated position, we're gonna roll all the way back and come into all fours. Forgot where I was, but now I remember. So now we're on all fours. We're gonna take our toes and tuck them under, and we're going to start to scapate. We're gonna lower down and raise up the chest. So the chest is dropping in between the arms and pushing up. And when I mean drop, I don't mean just fall down. I mean pull through the chest, through the arms, and push through and raise up. We're just articulating a couple of things right now. So our shoulder socket is going forward and back, and how it's doing so is our shoulder blades moving forward and back. So forward, we rotate internally, and as we push through the chest, it's rotating externally. So we have those internal and external shoulder muscles allowing this movement to happen, and we're not allowing gravity to take over. Now, hold with the chest, drop it between the arms, take your elbows and spiral them in towards the center line of the body. Continue the exercise, pushing up and lowering down, and keep the internal rotation of those elbows as you raise and lower the torso in between those arms. And on this next rep, keep the chest down, nestled in between the arms. Those elbows are still spiraling in. Step your feet back into plank pose. Now you're going to feel a lot more activation in around those smaller muscles of the shoulders. Step the feet back in, come down onto the knees. Now keep the toes, tuck the toes under. Keep the elbows rotating internally, and then lift the knees up off the earth and lower them back down. And now part two of the exercise, step the legs back, plank. So step in, bear, knees lower, knees raise, step back. So it's a raised bear to a plank, and then we lower back down and reset. Two components to this exercise, stepping back. Both components need to be met with that internal rotation of the elbows. Step back, step in, and I'm feeling that's about enough work for my body.
Shoulders.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for the shoulders, but it's important to keep them strong. Now, let's bring the hands forward to the front part of the mat. I have my knees about the middle part of the mat, so I'm able to kind of move a little bit. Now I'm going to take my knees wide to the edges of the mat and flip onto the tops of my feet. So my toes to knees form a V. I'm going to allow my hips to drift backwards as my arms walk forward. So all of those muscles we just worked, we're just kind of stretching them out right now. Should also feel a nice, fun kind of feeling through our shins right now. As we come back up onto all fours, flip your toes so they're tucked under once again. Get a nice plantar stretch as we come into small down dog, hips pulling to the sky, heels driving to the earth. Feel that nice pull through the lower leg muscles. Straighten out the legs as best you can and drive your heels to the earth as best you can. Now, keep that activation in the legs, proud out the chest. Keep the chest proud. Pull the hips back towards the feet and up to the sky. And then walk your hands back to your feet. Keep in the folded position. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the spinal extension as you draw the hips backwards. As you release the breath, let the upper body fold down. As you inhale, unfold, sweep your hands to the sky to salute the sun. Nice. Reach high, fill the lungs. As you exhale, bring the arms down, shoulder heights, and then bring the forearms into me. So we've gone to field goals. So you keep the 90 degrees, sweep open and close. And do that a couple more times. We worked our shoulders a lot today. We worked our hips, knees, and ankles a lot of the mobility issues related to
Aging.
aging. Sucks to get old. Now, bring forward, drop that right elbow under the left and bring the right elbow, left elbow on top, so it's kind of in the pit. And then see if you can bring the hands by rotating them so the back of the hands are facing into towards each other, and see if you can wrap the right hand around, so the palm of the right laps into the palm of the left, and then just raise and lower the shoulders slowly. And then relax that, switch up sides. I do the same thing, slowly up and down. Relax it, shake it out. Now, take your hands, palms are facing in. You notice how I kind of got a little bit of cupping with the hands. I'm going to keep the cupping. I'm going to pull the shoulders up slightly. So we're not giving a big ratchet up. This is a slight pull up, just a slight elevation. And have that little cupping for the hands. And then I'm going to rotate my palms facing forward, but I'm going to keep the cup in the hands. So as we do that, I'm going to now crowd out the chest. And I'm going to have my elbows, I'm going to draw them backwards. So this should really be a good, this is a good postural effort here. And it's actually helping to keep the thoracic spine long. And the way that we do that is we're crowding out the chest. That's really thoracic extension. It's that upper middle spine to be nice and long. And then relax everything, shake it out.
Thank you.
And then let me say, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh, get out, grab my water.